Hello, everyone. This is Lions Den, and welcome to my live. I'm sorry I was a little bit late. I was supposed to go on after the Information Man show of this YouTube live. There's a lot of stuff that's going on talking about this case. Ooh. I'm gonna wait for more people to come on in because we will have this conversation of what happened to Derontae Martin. For those of you that never know who Demarte Rock, sorry, Derontae Martin is. Gotta get it correct. Demarte. I got a tongue tie. Sorry guys. Derontae Martinez. He was a 19-year-old kid who was found dead at a white man's home in his attic. They made a little bit of headlines in the mainstream media, but big in the local media. But you know, they wasn't even talk about. So I'm just waiting for people to come on in. We're gonna have a conversation. Make sure you like this live stream. What's going on, Jerome Davis? We're gonna wait for more people to come on in. We're gonna have this conversation because there's so much inconsistencies in this investigation. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm predicting what really happened to him. Yes, definitely have to deal with James Wade. So I want people to come on in. Make sure you like this live stream, share this live stream, and make sure you share this to all your social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything. Share this because what I'm about to tell you is that, and there's been more updates of this story. James Wade reportedly breaking news. I believe it happened about April of this year. He's been arrested on unrelated charges. So yes, I'm going to break it down to you once I'm bringing a lot of people in, um, because again, this is going to show you how the white man thinking that we're gonna believe what he says suicide. This has never been suicide, and again that there's a jury confirmed that was no suicide. It was ruled. It was basically ruled of violence, which is a homicide, then a suicide. So I'm going to wait for more people to come on in. Again, make sure you like this live stream, share this live stream, everyone. And again, I apologize for being late because I have to write all the notes down of the timeline of what happened to Derontae Martin. Right in this timeline, you can go to Justice for Derontae Martin. I believe justiceforderontaemartin.org. That's where you find all the information about it. But I did write notes on it, and that's probably the reason why it took me so long to be on live. But um, but again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read you the timeline of what happened to him. Uh, of course, James Wade, the man who owns that house, and yes, he is a white supremacist. He owns that house. Who's the one that said he found him, shot himself in the head in an attic, and he was calm about it. Now, why would you call the 911 calm about finding a dead body in your house, let alone in your attic? But we're gonna talk more about this. Definitely gonna talk more about this. We're gonna wait until more people coming in, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna have a conversation. So, with that being said, make sure you like this live stream, share this live stream to all your social media for your family, your friends, and supporters of Derontae Martin. Because again, this we're gonna definitely have this conversation, guys. We will definitely have this conversation. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, again, I wrote down all the timeline of what happened to him. And again, he was involved in another shooting, which was in April of this year. He was involved in another shooting. He was charged and in an unrelated situation on another incident that happened. But yeah, I want you guys to come on in, guys, and we're gonna have this conversation. But make sure you like the live stream, share this live stream, and we're gonna have a little conversation, guys, about this. Now, are you ready? Because we're gonna wait for more people to come on in. But yeah, I'm gonna be waiting for people to come on in, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about this case. So, with that being said, we're gonna talk about this case. It is basically who telling you this is gonna be a huge news. I'm really surprised that the mainstream media didn't even talk about this case. Really, have a little coverage of it. And so, again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get started. So I'm going to read the timeline of what happened to Derontae Martin. and my predictions of what really happened to him. So let's go. It says, and it started on April 22nd, 2021. Derontae had surgery on his right hand, which was his dominant hand. I'm sorry, I'm trying to write this. Which was his dominant hand. The procedure entailed several pins being placed in his hand, which resulted in arm being set in the cast that stretched from the fingertips on his right hand up to his elbow. On April 24th, 2021, Derontae was at Laney Wade's birthday party. Now, Laney Wade, ladies and gentlemen, is James Wade's daughter. We're going to get to her as well. So it says that Derontae was at Laney Wade's birthday party in a remote town at the home of her father, James Wade, a man who prominently displayed a Confederate flag. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the red flags that we already know I don't even understand why he went to the party. We'll get to that. It says that a man who would predominantly display the Confederate flag on his house and was known for bigoted social media posts. On April 25th, 2021, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this. Okay, at 3:01 a.m. Eastern Time, Wade called 911, heard calmly as seemingly apparently a guy shot himself. When EMT arrived, Derontae was pronounced dead in Wade's home with a gunshot wound to his head. On April 20, I'm trying to read this. On April 25th, 2021, Derontae's mother learned of his death the following morning through his cousin from really other family members, including his cousin, and not the police. You hear me right, not the police. So, on April 26, 2021, a local coroner conducted an autopsy and concluded that his death occurred by suicide. On April 27, 2021, having still not heard from law enforcement directly, Derontae's mother reached out to the sheriff's department for information about her son's death. She was not with hostility and gives no information. On May the 11th, 2021, the family of Derontae Martin's ordered a second independent autopsy. The findings were released and noted several inconsistencies from the internal autopsy. May of 2021, James Wade continued to comment on social media regarding Derontae's death and texted someone, now get this, ladies and gentlemen, texted someone stating that Derontae Martin was the second person to die from suicide at home. You hear me right. The second person to die at his home. On July 30th, 2021, given the number of inconsistencies in the case, the jury was impaneled to review the coroner's report and review the facts. By July 30th, the jury determined the Derontae Martin's death was a result of violence, not suicide. On April 14th, 2022. Now this is current. This is what happened April of this year. James Wade was arrested on being held in custody for a shooting incident he was involved in an unrelated to Derontae Martin's case. So he was involved in another shooting along with the other guy, and basically that involves in his house. But again, let me finish this, and we're going to talk about it. It says, and today it said no one had been arrested in connection of Derontae's death. More questions continue to surface, and the Missouri Highway Patrol has not shared any updates. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the timeline of what happened to Derontae Martin. Now, keep in mind, he was interviewed by a local media there. And I'm very shocked that a reporter didn't even see the Confederate flag in his window. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if the thing is, he's telling everybody he's not a racist, he did this, he did that. But this question is like, why you have a Confederate flag in your window? And let alone, there's an audio record of a 911 call. I heard it myself. If I ever find it on all the social media, I will post it on my YouTube channel as well. You can hear the calmness of this man, James Wade. But his daughter was hysterical. His daughter was frightened and scared on the 911 call, which means he did something. Now, why, if you find a dead man's body, why would you calmly call 911? And then on top of that, you heard a lot of stuff, texting people and saying that this is the second guy that found dead in his home. So, to tell you the truth, you can tell that he killed this guy. He killed this man. Ain't no way in the world that's not a suicide. And they said that the distance, when he was shot from a distance, not at close range, which is proven that it wasn't suicide. It was murder. And obviously, there was reports that he said a lot of racial insensitive comments on his social media, including Facebook. Obviously, also that you have to understand that we see other cases too. In his situation, that there's more to this story that people did not want to know. That the motive of the shooting, of what really happened to him, and everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, hello Leslie. Hello Leslie, welcome to the live. Hello Jerome, again, welcome to the live. I'm going to tell you what really happened. And that's my speculation. I don't know if that's going to happen now, but I believe what happened is that, and I'm just going to be honest with you. Hold on. Let me start all over again. Now, Lainey Wade was James Wade's daughter. Everybody know that. I have a feeling, and this is my prediction. I mean, people are going to believe what they're going to believe, whatever. And if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong on this. But I believe that something going on between Derontae and Lainey Wade. Something's going on between the two. Whether they had a relationship or a sexual relationship. And you know that's the small town, everybody talks, running their mouths. Everybody knows everybody in the small town of Missouri. I believe that Derontae and Lainey have a relationship. And they don't want to talk about the relationship because they already know how racist the town really is, including by his father. They didn't want even his father involved in this. But I guess the father found out about their relationship, and you know what happened there. That's what I believe that happened. I'm not sure that really happened like that, but something tells me that's exactly what happened. But see, the thing is, they're not going to tell you the whole entire story until all the stuff comes out. But that's, I believe, what went down, and that's mainly the reason why the father acts the way he does. And you know good and well, if a racist guy find out that you dating a black man, you know good and well he would not be happy. In fact, he would do something to that black man in some cases. So I believe that's what went down. We don't know that's a confirmation of that, but I believe that's what happened. And all of a sudden, you see the father is involved in all these racist stuff, which means he's part of he's part of the white supremacist groups or something, because he's always saying a lot of stuff on his Facebook page and all of his social media. And he told everybody, including the sheriff's deputies, there was a suicide, which means they knew what happened to Derontae Martin, but it was a cover-up. They cover up this case because I believe he was also clicked with law enforcement. I believe James Wade is clicked with law enforcement in this, because ain't no way in the world you're going to automatically tell the local media in Missouri that it was suicide. Ain't no way. And it's proven, and this is why I say I'm glad that Derontae Martin's family have an independent autopsy done that proven that it wasn't suicide. It was murder. It was a violence. And the jury agreed with that case. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like the live stream, share this live stream, share all your social media that I'm on live about this case, because, again, they want to shut this case down. They don't want to talk about it. And the mainstream media barely talk about this case at all. And the way I found out about this case was, of course, Roland Martin talked about it. And we just talk about it, now, because last year, that's when the incident happened. And the local media was the only people that even talk about this case. Now, if it was suicide, and again, now he said it was suicide, which we already know it was not a suicide. But how can it be suicide if there's no suicide note? Let alone, where's the gun? Now, a gun was supposed to be, if he was committing suicide, normally the gun would be right next to the body. There was no gun next to his body at all. How does James Wade purchase the gun? How does James Wade knew that he's coming to the party, unless Lainey told him herself that he was coming to the party? So many unanswered questions of what really happened to this young man. Now, according to the family, Derontae Martin is a sweet young man. He liked to smile a lot. Everybody likes him in high school. He was an All-American football player over that high school he was attending to. He was a good guy. And it seems to me that the police covered this story up, cover it up completely. They already know what happened to him. They don't want the public to know what happened to him. And like I said, my predictions, I have a feeling in my gut that it's all because of James Wade's daughter, Lainey, and him are together, are in a relationship. And they don't want the entire town to know about it. Or, and this is, like I said, this is my theory, or that James Wade caught them having sex, and you know the rest. It's either or. But again, I'm just speculating. I'm just basically have this theory of what happened. Now, of course, James Wade had two daughters, Lainey, and I forgot the other daughter's names in my mind. But yeah, he has two daughters. So Lainey, I think, was the oldest daughter. So, ladies and gentlemen, it shows you that this case is about to blow open than you think it is. And I think people are starting talking about this case now. And even though it happened April of last year, a lot of people still don't understand why nobody was arrested in the murder of Derontae Martin. People still try to figure out why is no arrest being made yet, and no updates are happening yet. Even though Wade, even though James Wade has been charged in another shooting, which is unrelated to this case. There's still an eye-opener to police. It's like, what else is going on? He's been charged to another case. There's had to be something going on in his house. Now, there's been another rumor that he did call someone and admitted that he did kill that young man. So a lot of stuff is happening now that you see, everything is going on now. What's up, Keith? What's going on? Welcome to my live, brother. See, this is what's happening. I believe he's been murdered. The police is involved in this. And because they cover up the crime. Now, the police lied to all of us. And we already know there wasn't no suicide. He said it's concluded by an autopsy that he committed suicide. And it's been proven that someone shot him distance away, which is not suicide at all. And basically, and like I said before, they found his body in an attic. And another thing, how did he end up in an attic? That's another thing. Another question. Where did he get the gun from? Why is Derontae Martin end up in an attic in the first place? And why he called 911 calmly? These are all unanswered questions. And the daughter, which sounds to be Lainey, Lainey Wade, which is his oldest daughter, was hysterical, was screaming and everything. But James, the racist guy, called 911 calmly. See, ladies and gentlemen, the police covered this story up. The police knew what happened to this man, but I got a feeling there's white supremacists involved in this. The cops are part of white supremacists as well. What this story not to even brought out. And Jerome, yeah, I agree. I think someone put this man in the attic, make it look like it was a suicide. But again, it backfired because number one, if it was really a suicide, there was no suicide note. There was no gun right next to his body. So again, where's the gun? Where's the murder weapon? And I believe James Wade hid that murder weapon. Covered up somewhere so the police won't find it. Make it look like it was a suicide. And again, the jury has agreed there's no proof that there's no suicide at all. At all. It was a murder. It was all out murder. And again, watch this. Now I'm predicting this, and I have a feeling that Derontae Martin and Laney Way had a relationship, and they don't want nobody to know about this. They don't want nobody even in town about this because this town is racist. Jerome said this: if anybody should have been suicide, it should be us because all the racism. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you like this: it's proven time and time again. Like all in the past, when people find lynchings, hangings, and everything, and I still in my heart believe these were lynchings and hangings back then. They always said it was suicide, always, because they didn't want to investigate any further. But it proves to me, ladies and gentlemen, this was no damn suicide at all. Because according to witnesses, according to sources close to the situation, that someone shot him in a distance, not up close. Now, if it was suicide, it would be up close and personal. But it was in a distance, and if it was really suicide, I remember I read the incident that he had a cast on. That's another reason why I believe it wasn't suicide. He wore a cast after the surgery. So how the heck he had to hold a gun with his cast in his right hand? If it was suicide. He had surgery. This is a timeline of what happened to this young brother. He had surgery on his right hand, and he had a cast on. He couldn't hardly hold anything. So that proves to me, ladies and gentlemen, that was not a suicide at all. Police is covering this story up so that the public will not know. And hardly the mainstream media basically don't even want to talk about this case. But I believe that's exactly what happened. I believe, and like I said, it's speculation from me. I don't really know if that's the case or not. But I believe in my heart, ladies and gentlemen, that him, which is Derontae Martin, and Laney Way had a relationship. They don't want the father to know about it because he's just racist. And the local media, I'm very disappointed in the local media in Missouri. The reporter should have said, well, wait a minute, sir. If you're not racist, why do you have the Confederate flag in your window? You can see, I already posted it on Twitter, Instagram. You can check out my Twitter or Instagram. You can see the Confederate flag on his window while he was interviewed. The reporter could have known right then and there, like, sir, if you're not racist as you say you were, why do you have the Confederate flag on your window? And you can see it as clear as day about that Confederate flag, which means we already know what really happened. Hello, Jose. Welcome to my live. You can see it's clear as day that this man is a white supremacist. And you can see in his face, he acting so nonchalant, like, I saw his body and, I tried to call 911 and everything. Like he acting like that he didn't do anything wrong. Which, believe me, he did. So, ladies and gentlemen, to me, it was basically showing you that they're using suicide as a scapegoat to what really happened to this young man. The parents don't believe and guess what? The parents, all of them who know Derontae Martin, know that he wasn't suicidal. There is no evidence or no case he was suicidal before this incident happened. And then you heard a text message basically saying, told one of the people that he talked to, I'm talking about James Wade, talked to the person on the text message, said there's a second person that killed on my house. Which means this isn't the first time that he did this to somebody. He killed somebody in his house before. And I wouldn't even be surprised that person was black. And so now and then for those of you just joining my live, breaking news on the James Wade situation. April of this year, he's been charged on another situation, which was unrelated to this case. He was involved in a shooting in front of his house with another guy who's also reportedly was a white supremacist. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we put all the timeline together what happened to Derontae Martin. And you see the timeline of what happened. Police didn't even want to get involved in this investigation. They didn't even want to talk about this case, which means they also were involved in this. They also knew what happened to this young man, but they're not going to tell y'all what really happened to him. But I'm very disappointed in a local reporter who interviewed him. And I'm very disappointed in her because she would have read the lines and said the Confederate flag in his window. They should tell you right there, but wait a minute. If you're not racist, if you didn't write no racial insensitive comments on your Facebook page and other social media posts, why do you have a Confederate flag on your window? But she didn't do that in this case. She wanted to interview him, find out what happened in the situation. Merely sided with him in this situation, and not getting deeper information of what happened with Derontae Martin. Instead, focus on the father of who owns this house and why incidents like this happen. So you're dealing with a cover-up by the police. You're dealing with a man who's racist, who's white supremacist, which everybody know who is white supremacist. And like I told you before, I gotta believe in my gut and my heart. The story is much bigger than this. I think, again, Derontae Martin and Laney Wade are in a relationship. They're seeing each other, and they probably had sex, and it turns out that the father found out about all of this, get mad, and you know what happened. And another thing, too, if you feel that you are a racist man, why you invited Derontae into your daughter's birthday party unless you had a plan in motion? Because if you're a racist guy, you wouldn't invite no black people at all at your daughter's birthday party. But in this case, they did. So I'm reading the comments. It's what they do in the mainstream media. It's all about their agenda and what works to their grab people. I agree, Keith. Derontae Martin was killed by Cody. I suspected that Cody wanted to get in a black man that's in his attention. Yeah, I mean, and some person that I believe the birthday party was set up. I believe that too. I believe it was a setup because he probably knew about. This is how I feel. This is about something in my gut. I believe in my heart and my gut that Derontae and Laney had a relationship. The father knew about it through word of mouth because in a small town, everybody knows everybody. Everybody sees everything. So he probably sees about their relationship. Got back to the father, and the father said, "Okay, we're gonna have a birthday party, blah blah blah, for my daughter." And set that man up to get killed. That's what I believe what happened. And the mainstream media, as well as the police, will not tell you none of this. Because that's what I'm saying. Law enforcement is involved in this. Because you remember, the FBI in 2006 has already said that white supremacist groups infiltrated police departments across the country. And that's not a surprise. These police officers, some of them are indeed white supremacists. And they would try to do everything to protect this man from finding out what really happened to him. Yes, I have a feeling that Derontae's gut. Yeah, I believe that too, Jerome. And you know what? And see, the thing of it is, I'm surprised that they charged the father in an unrelated charge of shooting somebody else. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot get away with crimes like this. And obviously, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, all of this, it ain't, people talking about it was a suicide. People still going to sweep this story under the rug. Let's not do that. Let's keep talking about this story. Let's keep bringing it out. Because again, I believe this is a cover up by the police department in Missouri, the small town Missouri where they are. They're trying to cover this story up by any means. And they're trying to say that he committed suicide with no gun on the side of his body, with no suicide note as well, which we already know there wasn't no damn suicide. And then he was killed, he was shot from the distance, which means whoever the shooter was, they shot him like from a distance of where he is. So I'm telling you like this, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like this live stream, share this live stream, and make sure you put hashtag on Twitter, Justice for Derontae Martin. Put this live stream so the other people who supporting the family of this, watch this live stream, because I want each and every one of you guys to see this. If you have a Twitter or Instagram, put my live stream and make it hashtag Justice for Derontae Martin on there. And I guarantee you everybody going to come on my live stream. We're going to talk more about this case because, again, today they still haven't charged anyone who was involved in Derontae Martin's murder. They haven't charged at all. No, they haven't been arrested. There hasn't been no person of interest. None of that. And people still trying to figure out who killed Derontae Martin. You know what? People talk about who killed Derontae Martin. The father, James Wade, killed Derontae Martin. And again, they're gonna try to make it like he had nothing to do with it, but he was killed in your house. The body was found in your attic. And then you text someone even said that basically that Derontae is the second person that died in your house. And you still out there. You still on the streets. You still at home chilling. Like nothing's happening. And again, for those who are just tuning in, there's an audio of the 911 call. And you can tell how calmly he was. He was no frantic. He was like, oh man, I found a dead body in my house. I need help, blah, blah, blah. He was really calm throughout the entire thing. And the daughter, Lainey Wade was the one who was hysterical. She was screaming to the top of her wits. That's what I knew something out right about this. And of course, the jury, thanks to the jury, they agreed that this wasn't no suicide at all. It said it was due to violence. Jerome said, I bet their relationship was consensual. It was consensual. And like I told you, I believe in my heart and my gut that was the motive of why James Wade killed Derontae Martin. Because that him and Lainey Wade had a relationship. Had a sexual relationship. And they don't want him to know. They don't want the entire town to know. But somebody, I think they went to school together. It was rumors that they had a relationship. But they didn't want the entire town nor his father to know, because you already know her father was a racist. Everybody knows that. And the police know that too. And they want to keep that story quiet. Yeah, he said, you see why whites don't want us in a fancy position. Yeah. And see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm saying. Please make sure, share this live on Twitter. Hashtag Justice for Derontae Martin on there. Make sure you put hashtag Justice for Derontae Martin on Twitter so that all the people can see it and let them know I'm live talking about this case. See, ladies and gentlemen, Derontae Martin, he was friendly, he was a happy dude, he was a good dude, according to family members. He was a good dude. He smiles a lot. He'll make everybody smile. If you have a bad day, he smile, talk to you, make everybody smile. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, and this is why I said that James Wade killed Derontae Martin. And the motive of this was him dating his daughter. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, y'all tell me that I'm wrong. But I believe that was the motive. Because we already know he was racist anyway. And then why would you lure Derontae Martin into your daughter's birthday party? If you're racist, if you're a racist man, you don't want any black kids or black people there at your party at all. But he invited him. Why? Why all of a sudden he invited him to his daughter's birthday party? And I agree, it sounded like it's a setup. It was a lure setup. I think one time it said it's at the prom party, but according to Justice for Derontae Martin, the timeline of what happened is really Lady Wade's birthday party. It's not the after prom party. So it's sure proven time and time again, ladies and gentlemen, the inconsistencies of the story of that he was being suicide. This is the inconsistencies of it. Because where if he was committed suicide, where was the gun right next to this man's body? Because it should have been a weapon. It wasn't. Where was the suicide note? Where was the weapon, the weapon that he used, if it really was suicide, but it really isn't? Where's the gun? Again, unless James Wade had the gun, or if James Wade used the same gun to this thing he was charged with, unrelated, the April of this year. So he was involved in so many stuff. And I'm telling you this right now, it has to do with his daughter. I guarantee you that's what the motive was. Because ain't nobody, I mean, even if you're a racist bastard, you would not invite no black person into your daughter's party, let alone you would invite you in your house. So it seemed to me it was a setup that Derontae Martin lured into a trap. And I'm going to tell you like this, and I guarantee you the motive was, like I said, I have a feeling in my gut, I have a feeling that it has to do with him, Derontae Martin and Laney Wade, their relationship. They had a sexual relationship, and the father found out about it, and boom. But they didn't want that to come out. Because in the small town of Missouri, you know, there's racism there. And they don't want interracial relationship in that town. Jerome, okay, I'm going to pull it out. Let's see. It says, okay, Jerome writes, I think he wanted to make an example of Derontae. Exactly. And I'm going to tell you like this. They hide a gun somewhere or hide a murder weapon somewhere for nobody to know where it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like this live stream, share this live stream. If you have a Twitter account, make sure you put this live stream on your Twitter account. Say hashtag Justice for Derontae Martin, so more people can come in and watch my reaction and how I feel about this case. See, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you like this. I believe this is a setup by James Wade. I believe the police cover it up because he has ties with law enforcement in that town. Because ain't no way in the world that, I mean, if someone shoots you from a distance, that is not a damn suicide. I don't care what nobody say. And Jerome Wright, I'm starting to say why whites are at the top there because they want to make themselves look innocent and hardworking. But see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you this right now. That's what the motive was, why I believe that James Wade killed Derontae Martin. And make it look like he had nothing to do with it. But at the same time, he ended up in your house. The body was in your attic. You know, it's sad. It's sad to think about, why would you even invite a man, especially a black man, into your home if you're racist? Let alone invite him to your daughter's birthday party. Unless it was a setup. Unless he was lured into a trap. Saying that Laney was going to be there, invited everyone. And then he was basically trapping him to come. And I believe in my heart that James Wade ain't the only person that was there waiting for him. It's gonna be more people that was waiting for Derontae to come that night. And then you read the timeline of what Derontae Martin's family was saying, that they haven't heard anything from law enforcement in that town, which means that it was definitely a cover up. Because first of all, the cousin of Derontae Martin told his mother about what happened, not the police, not law enforcement. The cousin of Derontae Martin told the mother what happened. And the law enforcement and the police department is supposed to tell or knock on the door. Well, ma'am, are you the mother of Derontae Martin? Ma'am, we regret to inform you that your son passed away. Blah 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 blah. He was dead. Something. Now, according to Derontae's mother, basically that that the police didn't even tell her anything. He received no information from the law enforcement at all. They didn't even contact the mom at all. But she heard it from she heard it from her cousin. She heard it from Derontae's cousin. Excuse me. But yeah, that's mainly, and this is the small town we're talking about. And according to the small town of Missouri, that this is a predominantly white town, which means there's white supremacists in that town. And Jerome said, I also predict Derontae was pleading for his life. I bet he would fought to get the gun away, get the gun away from him, only to be overpowered or threatened. I agree, and I also agree that James Wade had his people with him, his white supremacist friends with him, and planned that attack. I think it was a fight involved, and this is where my prediction is. I think it was a fight involved, and I believe he beat James Wade up. James Wade didn't like a black man beat him up like that, so he pulled out a gun and shot him dead from a distance, and that's not a suicide. And his friends found the body on the ground. So his friends pick up Derontae Martin's body and lure up into his attic, make it look like it was suicide. Nothing happened. And Jerome, I believe he did try to defend himself. He tried to fight every last member of the guys that were there that night. And they did not like what he did to him. So, cowardly, he got his gun, shot Derontae Martin, and I believe in my gut, and this is my gut feeling, I believe his friends picked this body up and put him in the attic and acting like, and then people probably ask, where'd Derontae go? I don't know, I haven't seen him since the party. So he was basically saying he didn't even know, I don't know where Derontae is, and I don't know witnesses that was at the party know what happened too. If it really was a party there, but I believe he was lured because Laney's going to be there. The father knew they had a relationship between Laney and Derontae. This is my gut feeling. It's all that's about to come out though. Excuse me. They had a relationship. Laney and Derontae had a relationship. They knew about this. The father knew because it's word about town. Yeah, I bet that N-word is messing with your daughter. Oh, I'm going to kill that N-word right now. That's exactly probably what happened. That was the motive. See, if you're a racist guy, why would you allow any black friends of Laney's at your house? But then he told the local media, oh, well, I'm not racist, and I don't know what happened to Derontae. Oh, yes, the hell you did. You did. Because you and your friends there planted this murder. And I'm sorry to say this. We know clear as boot. It was no suicide. It was all a murder. And James Wade, along with friends, it was involving that. But then he says that this is the second time that he killed in his house. So what are you saying, James? You killed someone, a black person, before Derontae Martin, and then you're involved in another shooting, April of this year, of an unrelated charge in your house. See, police didn't put two and two together. Like, why would you? It's like every time an incident happened, it happened in your house. But yet you acting innocent and say, I'm not racist. Basically, I don't know what happened to Derontae Martin. I found him in his body in the attic. Really? Really? Just to make yourself feel good? Really? And I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, you hear it first right here on Lions Den on YouTube, that it has to deal with Laney Wade. It has to deal with his daughter getting involved with Derontae Martin. I guarantee you that was the motive of this. And the father found out about it. And I guess Laney and Derontae telling each other, let's not tell my father, he's racist. We're not, because he don't like seeing black guys with me anyway. I believe he was lured to that party. And I believe it was indeed a setup. Because ain't no way in the world you're going to invite anybody to your party unless you plan on something drastic or something that's going to be criminally. Especially if he's a racist. You see all the anti-black racism in his social media posts, let alone a Confederate flag in his window. So, and then the local reporter should have picked that up from the get-go. She was like, sir, if you're not a racist, why is the Confederate flag on your window? She didn't ask that type of question. All she asked was, what happened to Derontae Martin? Why his body is end up in his attic? He acting nonchalant, said, well, I don't know what happened to him. The thing of it is that, it happened in my house, and I don't know, he killed himself. If he really committed suicide, ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. He didn't bring the gun to the party. There's no proof that he had any weapon at all when he was into Laney's birthday party. That's number one. Number two, how he ended up in an attic? How? I mean, basically, I don't think James Wade didn't pick up his body by himself. So how he end up in his attic in the first place? And how did Derontae Martin know where his attic was? See, all these unanswered questions that haven't been told. That's what I'm saying. This is a sketchy story that we're hearing right now about him. And according to witnesses, and I know there's witnesses at the party if there really was a party. Some said it was Laney's birthday party. Others said it was the after prom party. Either way you look at it, they know there's witnesses saw what happened that night. And I believe that you lured this young man into this party. It's a setup, it's a trap, because Laney invited him to come. But again, there's so many unanswered questions, like any racist guy would never invite any black person to his party or his daughter's party. There's no, see, no. That's what I'm saying. Something isn't right about this story. Something not right. It's bigger than you think it is. This story is way bigger than you think it is. And it has to deal with Laney Wade. I'm trying to tell y'all. It has to be dealing with Laney Wade in this case. And it had to deal with Derontae Martin and Laney Wade. They had some sort of relationship. I don't know if it's a friendship or a sexual relationship. They had a relationship. And word got back to his father, and you know what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like this live stream. Share this live stream. If you're on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, put this live stream on your platform and say hashtag Justice for Derontae Martin. Put it on your platform right now. Because we're going to talk about what happened, the predictions of what happened, And I still believe in my heart that James Wade has a lot to do with this. James Wade, who was a white supremacist, killed Derontae Martin and make it look like he committed suicide, which that was all bullshit. It was bullshit from the get-go. Because number one, if you're a racist man, you wouldn't invite any black person into your daughter's party, let alone into your damn house. Really? And when a person did that, it shows you there was a trap waiting to happen. They're setting this young man up. And it took Derontae's mother to find out, not from the cops, not from any law enforcement, but his family member to find out that he was killed. That he's dead. And obviously the police officers, their job is to inform the parents of what happened to their children. They didn't do that in his case. And I believe in my heart there was a cover-up. It was a cover-up. The police know what happened. They just want to protect, James Wade. They want to protect him. So, it's funny, ladies and gentlemen, that it took a year to find out what happened to this young man. None of us, we have no idea about this incident until we talked about it now. It happened April 25th of 2021. Whether it's Lane's birthday party or an after prom party, it doesn't matter. I believe that Derontae Martin was lured. It was a setup. Derontae knew, the parents probably found out about him and Lane's relationship, and James Wade and his friends had a plan in motion to take this young man out. So I believe that's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that Derontae and Laney have a relationship, whether it's friendship, sexual relationship, they had a relationship, and the dad found out about it and told his buddies, who are also white supremacists, that we're going to go ahead and get this N-word right now. And that's what happened. They lured this guy to be set up to be killed and make it look like a suicide. Because ain't no way in the world Derontae knew where the attic was. I think this is his first time even come to this house. He don't know where the attic was. That's why I said that this is a major question mark. How did he end up in his attic? Because I don't think Derontae knows about the house like that. So why did they found him in an attic? Unless James Wade and his buddies put him up there. And I guarantee you some of his buddies were involved in law enforcement. Because they knew they had a plan in motion to kill this young man. That's what I feel in my gut. It's all about Laney Wade, James's daughter. So, if you just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my live Lions Den doing the Derontae Martin investigation. And to let you guys know, make sure you like this live stream, share this live stream. If you have a Twitter, make sure you hashtag Justice for Derontae Martin so that more and more people can come in and talk about this case. But I believe in my heart that's what happened to him. And there's no coincidence. Because I guarantee you, he killed like, he said this is the second body that ended up dead in his house. I bet you the first body he found dead, he killed him or her, and it's got to be a black person that he did it with. Because remember, this town is predominantly white. I believe it's like 76% white in that town. Jerome said if this was the other way around, Derontae would have been in jail. Exactly, Jerome. I agree. So, you see, ladies and gentlemen, you put two and two together. You put the timeline together of what happened to Derontae Martin. You put all this together now. That Derontae had a cat. That's what I'm saying. If he committed suicide, these are questions they need to ask law enforcement at that time. If Derontae really committed suicide, then why did he had a cast on and hard enough to carry a gun on his cast? Because Derontae wasn't left-handed. He was right-handed. I'm letting y'all know that Derontae was right-handed. If he committed suicide, why? I mean, first of all, if he committed suicide, knowing that he's not left-handed, he had a cast on his right hand. So that's red flag number one. Red flag number two is there's no evidence that he committed suicide was on his right temple, on his right side of his face. It reported that the shooting happened in the distance, not on his right hand on his face. So it shows you another red flag right there. A third red flag is he had a Confederate flag in his window, and he's a known white supremacist. That tells you right there. There's so many red flags on why Derontae Martin was lured. I don't think he was invited to a party. He was lured to come to that party by him, probably. And then make it look, and the witnesses saw what happened. I guess they're too scared to come forward with this. And there's a report that he admitted to somebody that he did kill Derontae Martin. He did. And I guarantee you the motive was that basically, yeah, I said it, lured. He wasn't invited to that party. I believe he was lured into that party. That's what I believe that happened that night. He was lured into that party, thinking it's okay, blah, 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 blah. And it turns out it wasn't. It was a trap. It was a setup. Everything was a setup. He was set up to be killed and make it look like it was suicide. So, it's sad, people. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the thing is, Leslie, thank you for tuning into my live. But basically, I believe in my heart and I believe in my gut, that's what happened to Derontae Martin. He was lured to go into that party. The father knew about him and Laney's relationship. They planned to get him that night. And once I guess he tried to fight some of his white supremacist friends, fight him, because I don't think he ain't no punk at all. He's a football player. Come on, really? A 6-foot football player, ready to fight, and then they got mad at he probably beat one of them, and they shot him dead. Because they're cowards for doing that. And make it look like it was a suicide. And law enforcement, I think his friends are part of law enforcement, says that, okay, don't worry about it. We're going to tell the public it was suicide. Like all the lynchings that happened in this country, all the murders and lynchings that happened on this country, that said it was suicide, but it really wasn't no damn suicide. See, all the truth is about to come out, and I guarantee you it's because of Laney Wade. I guarantee you it's because of her. And again, the 911 call, I'm going to try to find that out. I'm going to see if it's on TikTok or Instagram. The 911 call has proven that he was calm throughout the entire call. If you find a dead body into your house, you will be crying, scared, and hysterical. Yo, we need help. Somebody got shot at my house. Please come quickly. He was calm throughout the entire thing. And that also tells you if a person is calm like that, that means he did something. And the police should have read that as well. Officers should have read that in theory. That if you were calm throughout the entire thing and your daughter wasn't, that tells you right there that you did something. Leslie Trotter said, it sickens me that things like this happen to our people all the time when they trust racist white people. Exactly, Leslie. See, this is why I said, ladies and gentlemen, that it was a setup. It was a trap for him to lure to this party. They knew that, quote unquote, Derontae and Laney had a relationship, and they didn't like it. So what they did was, I think that, and again, Derontae's a big guy. I think he's 6'7", 6 foot. He was a really big guy. So ain't no way in the world he committed suicide. He was a big guy. He probably fought two or three of these guys, and they didn't like it. So you know what? He said, at a cowardly, they pulled out a gun, shot him, and dragged his body into the attic, make it look like it was suicide. I believe that's my gut feeling. That's what really happened. Because again, you know as well as I do with racist people, they will not invite you to go into your house. They will not invite you to go into your daughter's party, unless you're a fellow white person, unless they want you one of them. That's why I say he was lured to that party. And it was a setup. It was a trap. And unfortunately, he was killed by it. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like this live stream, share this live stream, and make sure you share this on Twitter, hashtag justice for Derontae Martin on it. Because I want people, the whole world, to say, predicted this. Because again, in my mind, in my heart, that's what happened. Derontae was luring the trap at a so-called party they having. Was supposed to be the daughter, was Lady Wade's party, and it was a trap. It was a setup. And obviously, Derontae ain't no punk, because he's going to defend himself. He's a football player. He's a 6 foot guy. I think he was a defensive tackle, I believe. He was a big guy. And so, I don't think he ain't no punk at all. He was going to fight these white supremacists. But a coward way is shooting them. That's a coward way. But hey, that's how they are. But I believe that's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Derontae was lured into this so-called party, and they killed this man. They killed him in cold blood. It's sad, people. But I'm thinking about Derontae Martin, his mindset. Like, if you knew that the father was racist, why? I wouldn't. If they invited me to this daughter's party, I wouldn't have go. I don't care if basically, I don't even care if they invited me themselves. I wouldn't have go at all. Maybe I can meet Lane somewhere for a birthday dinner or whatever. We can go whatever. But I'm not going to their house. That's for damn sure, because I'm not going to get set up like that. I'm not going to get set up like that. Oh, well, so the thing of it is like, okay, knowing that he's a racist, he's a white supremacist. I'm inviting you to my daughter's birthday party. And then the red flags keep popping up and say, well, wait a minute, huh? You never invited me to your house before, but now you invite me there? Something's not right. Something's just not right, ladies and gentlemen. Why would you go, and you know this guy's a white supremacist, why would you even go to his house? And then in the first place, like, if a white supremacist asked me, well, my daughter has a party, would you go? I said, I appreciate the invite, but no, I'm good. I'm good. Because I knew there's going to be a setup. And then at an insult to injury, he said it happened to him before at his house, that someone was murdered in his house before Derontae. That's another red flag. It's another red flag. So that tells me right there, like, oh, and see, Derontae probably didn't know, because I think he liked this girl, whatever. And he said, okay, I'm going to this party. But he wasn't really thinking in his mind, like, it was really is it a trap? Is it a setup? That why now all of a sudden you invite me to your house, or let alone invite me to your daughter's party? That that tells me in my mind, like, wait a minute. We know that you're a white supremacist. We know that you're a racist. And all of a sudden now you invite me to your house? You invite me to your daughter's birthday party? No. Sorry. I wouldn't even lure myself. I wouldn't play myself like that. But knowing if a person liked this girl, he said, okay, I'll go. But he had no idea that it would probably be a trap or a setup or it's been planned like this. The father's plan to take him out. But again, I told y'all, he's a big guy. Derontae Martin is a very big guy. He's a football player, All-American at his high school. And that's what I'm saying, that he has plans. He has goals ahead of him. Like, he could have been in college. He could have been going to the NFL. His plans was way ahead of him until this incident happened. But the father said, well, I didn't know what happened to Derontae Martin. And so, to me, ladies and gentlemen, okay, Leslie, you said you haven't heard about the story until I talked about it. I found this out on Roly Poly Martin's channel. That's how I found out about it. But even with that, this is for the first time that we talk about this. We have never heard about this story until it happened April of last year. It happened April 25th of 2021 that the incident happened. And nobody even talk about, local media probably talk about it here and there, but CNN didn't talk about it, MSNBC didn't talk about it, Fox News definitely didn't want to talk about it, NPR, all the world news didn't talk about this case until now. And we just talk about this. And then all of a sudden they pick up this story saying, well, I don't know what happened to Derontae. And the local reporter, a white reporter, should have known what the Confederate flag is. She could have really questioned him and said, why is your Confederate flag in your window if you're not racist? But she didn't want to ask that question. You want to know why she wanted to ask that question? Because she probably knows, she wanted to be supportive of the guy and figure out what happened to Derontae Martin. What happened to him? Had no clue, the Confederate flag was in that window, even though it was. You can see my video, it was right there, it's clear as day, that the Confederate flag was in his window while he was interviewed. That's why I said, ladies and gentlemen, it proves time and time again, when the white supremacists involved in crimes, that means they are involved in it and try to lie. And police departments and the local media are trying to downplay this story. They're trying to downplay it, y'all. They don't want the story to come out. What blew their minds was the jury. The jury sided with the family, with Derontae's family with this. That is not a suicide. That was a violence. That was murder. That was murder. And I think James Wade didn't think that's going to happen like that, but it did. It did. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I said that, and today, there's no arrests. There's no person of interest, none of that. Because again, part of those police department there are probably white supremacists too. They want to cover that story up. They want to look like he committed suicide like in all the other cases. But I never listened to Roly Poly Martin, but the story that I heard about this young man is interesting. That's why I got involved in it. That's why I got involved in it, because of that story. And I did more research, so people won't say, Lions Den, you don't do no research. I did research about it. I even go to Justice for Derontae Martin's page and read the timeline of that incident. And then, again, like, I added my gut, my heart, of why that, James Wade killed that young man, and the motive of it. That I'm telling you before, you hear it first. If the story comes out, the story comes out that both Derontae and Laney had a relationship, that was indeed the motive of the killing. It happens all the time. And it's going to be a big news later on. And this is happening in a small town of Missouri, which is predominantly white. That's mainly the reason why things are happening. And they try to cover that story up. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please like this live stream. Share this live stream. If you have a Twitter or Instagram account, please share it to your social media and put hashtag justice for Derontae Martin on there. Please do that. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this to me shows you that this is a major cover up. Because again, what if the role were reversed? What if Derontae Martin's father lured a white girl into his house? Even though the black dude don't have nothing to do with her, right? What if that she lured to this man's house, plan a murder, and put it into your closet or your attic? Yeah, the father would have been, exactly, Jerome. The father would have been in jail, right? A first-degree murder. It wouldn't be no cover-up. They would arrest him immediately. Thank you, Jose. Thank you, my brother. He would have been arrested immediately if the role were reversed. There will be no cover-up. There was like, well, we have evidence that he did kill this white girl, put it in a closet or an attic, and then it'll be all over. So, and for put it like this, y'all. Some of y'all are my moderators. If you see all these white trolls are trying to take over, get rid of their asses. Get rid of them, because we ain't got time for those spaces at all. Because they love to get in there, want to make their comment. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. That's your job, to get rid of them quickly. But they know they're not going to come because they know that what I'm telling you is the facts. They know they're not going to come. They're going to find instant pieces stuff in the store. Well, you didn't say this, Lion's Den, or that didn't happen like that, Lion's Den. And it really did happen. That's why these trolls not coming in yet, because they already know that's what happened to this young man. But ladies and gentlemen, but yeah, in my gut, I have a feeling in my gut it has to deal with an interracial relationship between Derontae and Laney. Laney's father, James Wade, knew about this relationship. He didn't like it from the get-go. Laney probably told Derontae, well, let's keep this between us because you know how my father is, blah, blah, blah. And it's a predominantly white town, so it's got white supremacists in that town. And police knew about this story and decided to cover up and make it look like a suicide. But then there's another incident before that, saying I hope, and there mean no surprise that the person was black. He was killed in his house, and no media coverage with that. So it seems to me we're seeing what's going on now, ladies and gentlemen. That I believe that this young man was set up. He was lured into this party, whether it was a party or not. He was lured into that situation, and they murdered him. Make it look like it was a suicide. But the people, the jury ain't falling for that. I'm glad they didn't fall for it. The parents didn't fall for it because he wasn't suicidal. And then if he committed suicide, then he was right-handed, which means that he had a cast in his hand when the incident happened. When the incident happened, he had a cast in his right hand. So ain't no way in the world he didn't literally kill himself. And then where was the murder weapon? Where was the gun? Which means James Wade hid that gun somewhere. So much unanswered questions in this investigation. It's some unanswered questions, y'all. My question is, where's the murder weapon? Where was the gun? Obviously, now he was involved in an unrelated charge April of this year of another incident that happened at his house. See, the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's a pattern. This guy is a known white supremacist. And every time there's black people involved, he wants to kill them. And basically acting like it's a suicide. And knowing there's no evidence that he brought a gun while he was at that party. And he had a cast on because he just had an injury with his hand. So that's proof right there that there's no damn suicide. And the jury believes that. And the Derontae family believes that. So we're gonna see, because like I said today, we got to keep that story out. We can't let them sweep that under the rug. We got to keep the story out, keep pushing the pressure on these politicians, and force them to reopen this investigation, because I still believe this is much more bigger than this. Because the thing of it is, ain't no racist person in the world gonna invite you to no party, let alone to their homes. So I've been thinking that they're luring this young man to his party, and that's how it was a setup. They want to get this guy. Unfortunately, he's a fighter. He's a football player. He might have a cast in his arm, but he's fighting like dogs, and that's how they shot him. This is crazy, y'all. And I'm telling you like this, all this stuff is going to come out, what really happened to him. Because, again, the family's going to sweep that under the rug about this case. And I'm like I said, once I finish this live, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to find the audio of the 911 call when James Wade made, and how the daughter, it was on one of my videos. If you go to my Instagram, it's on Instagram, and it's on my Twitter account. You can literally hear being calm throughout the situation. Ain't nobody will be calm if you find a dead body in your house. I don't care who you are. You'll be hysterical. So, yo, this is crazy, y'all. I mean, this is crazy. I find this laughable, how the police saying it was a suicide, or the first autopsy rules a suicide, which means that the police department probably tell the person that did the autopsy said it was a suicide. And it took, and a shout out to Derontae Martin's family for having hired an independent person to do an autopsy. I give them, because they said he ain't no suicide. That's not no suicide. He wasn't suicidal at all. There's no way he would be suicidal all of a sudden. Everybody know he was a well-known racist, a white supremacist, proving that he posted racist, anti-black racist slurs in social media posts, as well as a Confederate flag in his damn window. And I should have hoped that reporter saw that well, but I don't know. This white reporter, I don't know. She just wanted to try to get answers. But it proved time and time again that it's a Confederate flag in his window, proving that he is a well-known racist. And I guarantee you, it's all because of Laney Wade, his daughter. That her and Derontae had a relationship. And they don't want nobody to know about that relationship. What is a friendship? What is a sexual relationship? It's a relationship. And the dad knew it and didn't like it because he's racist like that. Racist fathers do not like their daughters making a black man or any other race. Let's just keep it real. Only their own. And that's exactly probably what happened in this case. The story hadn't come out yet. But I believe that was the motive of what happened to him. See, y'all, this is what's so important, people. We have to share this story out. Because the last thing we want, every story that happen when it comes to lynchings, comes to hangings, and some deaths we don't know about, trying to hide it, they're trying to sweep this story under the rug. Let's put the pressure and say, no, we're not gonna sweep that under the rug. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna let other people understand what really happened here. And how Derontae Martin was been murdered. And they proved it's not a suicide. It was a homicide. It was a murder. The police knew what happened. They're part of white supremacy. They want to cover everything up that they did. And this story needs to be coming out. It needs to continue to be coming out. Not just me as a content creator here on YouTube and on all my social media. I'm talking about other popular content creators as well. This story needs to continue to come out because they want to sweep that under the rug. And today, there's no suspect. There's no person of interest in the murder of Derontae. Are you kidding me? Which means that everybody's involved in this, including the police department. They want to cover this story up. They want to cover the story completely. They don't want nobody to know about this case. This is how important this is, ladies and gentlemen. Keep sharing this live stream. Like this live stream. If you're new to my channel, subscribe my channel and make sure you click the notification button for all my videos and my live stream that I'm doing. And I'm mostly doing live streams every Sunday night anyway. Either before Information Man's live stream or after from all the other stories. But other than that, yeah. We need to keep focused on this case because there's so many there's so many inconsistencies in this investigation. Like, where's the murder weapon? How did Derontae end up in an attic in the first place, knowing that he didn't even know anything about the house he was getting into? What really happened that it was really not suicide? How did it was suicide when Derontae had a cast in his right hand? He was right-handed. So we already know there wasn't no suicide. When some person said he was shot from a distance. And then on top of that, you heard it from James Wade texting somebody, said this is the second person that died in my house. Excuse me. The second guy that died in his house. That tells me right there that something going on with James Wade. And James Wade tell the world, well, I'm not racist, and I don't know what happened to this young man. We found this young man in an attic. No, you did something to him. I know you did. And now, in April of this year, he's been charged of an unrelated incident at his house. So look at all the patterns that happened in James Wade's house. You got 2 murders. 2 bodies that found in his house. And then a possible shooting in April of this year that he's finally been arrested for it. Something not right, people. I'm sorry, something isn't right about this. And you're gonna believe what this man's saying. That he didn't find his body. I did not know where it is. I'm basically, I'm not a racist. I have black friends. That's what they usually say. Oh, I have black friends. And that's also a racial term. See, my thing is that all these patterns of what James Wade has done, it's going to come out sooner or later. It may not come out now, but it will come out. And I'm going to tell you like this. I'm telling you the motive and why James Wade killed Derontae Martin. And I guarantee you it had to do with Laney Wade, the daughter of James Wade. It had to be. Because the one thing about racist men, they do not like their daughters dating a black man as it is. Especially in a small white town like that. So you think about it, people. So you think about what happened. I read you guys the timeline of what happened. And I also added pieces of James Wade murdering this young man and the motive of why he did it. That again, any racist man will not invite you to any party or any of their house unless there's a plan in motion to get you. But to Derontae, I don't think he didn't really think like that. He probably thinking that I like this girl. Yeah, man, I'll go to that. I'll go to the house, go to this party. But he was lured into that house, and I believe they murdered him, and the police cover up the crime because some people that were there, probably police officers themselves, and make it look like quote unquote, well, that he committed suicide. We can say that. We can tell the public he committed suicide. Let alone there's not evidence proving that he was suicidal. Let alone that he had a cast in his right hand, who was really right-handed. That how he had to hold a gun, he had a cast in his hand. Let alone that where was the murder weapon? If he did commit suicide, the gun should be right next to his body, and there's no gun anywhere near his body. I saw pictures, ladies and gentlemen, of the body of Derontae Martin on Facebook group. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't even post those pictures on social. It was so gruesome. It was so graphic. I can't even do it. I couldn't even do it. I was so mad when I saw those pictures. It saw Derontae's body in an attic, lying face down. It was like facing up. They cover up the face, however, but yeah, you see his entire body. It was all on Facebook. I think Facebook deleted the images because it's too graphic, but I saw the pictures of the body of Derontae Martin. Excuse me. I saw the pictures of it. It was so bad I couldn't even post it on my social media. That's how bad it was. I couldn't even do it. That's how mad I was, ladies and gentlemen. I was so upset with this. They posted this on Facebook, and I saw the body of him. I was like, I can't post this. I'll be so upset if I did. I'll be mad at myself if I posted it. That's how bad. And normally, I posted stuff like this, but with that picture, no. It was so gruesome and it was so graphic, I just couldn't do it. Even though they blurred out his face, they still showed the body of Derontae Martin. So what I'm about to do right now, I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning into my live. I'm about to close this live right now, but what I will do is once I find the audio of the 911 call, I will post it right here on YouTube to let you hear it, how calmly James Wade was. Anybody that found a dead body would be hysterical. It was crazy. Jose, thank you for that. I hope you come back and make sure you share this. But I would release the 911 call of the audio of when James Wade called 911, and you can hear the calmness. Most people that find a dead body in their homes or houses, they will be hysterical, crying, acting up crazy, and the dispatcher like, calm down, give me your address or whatnot. He didn't do that in this case. He was really calm throughout the entire 911 call. It's Lainey was the one that's kind of hysterical. She was hysterical. Lainey Wade, the daughter. So again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna do another live stream next week with another story. But keep sharing this live stream, y'all. Keep sharing this live stream all through your social media. Keep liking this live stream. Keep sharing this live stream because we want this story to come out. We cannot, and I repeat, we cannot let this swept under the rug. Because the family of Derontae Martin wants justice for their child. We don't want that to be swept under the rug. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I love you guys. I hope I'm doing more videos and news and commentary. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe. Make sure you click the like button or click the thumbs up for anything, or basically make sure you click the notification bell for all my videos that I'm posting on YouTube, as well as the live stream that I'm doing. So I love you guys. Hope you got a good Sunday, and I'll talk to you in my videos or my next live stream. This is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.